Hey, this is Vemza and this is a tutorial on how to create and use watermarks in Photoshop. I actually received a comment about this from a photographer who wanted to know how he could protect his photos. So I thought I'd show you some handy tricks and tips on how to create watermarks. I actually know two methods and I'm going to show you both. I'll start by showing you the quicker and easier version. This is mainly used by people who have hundreds and hundreds of photos, so they don't have time to individually go through each one inserting watermarks. So what you're going to do, this is the image I'm going to use. It's a picture I took myself on a recent holiday abroad, but for this method you don't actually work directly onto the photo. You create a new file. You can select whatever size you wish. I go for 1000 by 1000 because it's nice and big, so we won't lose too much quality when bringing the size down. But instead of, for the background contents, instead of using the default white, we're gonna change that to transparent and just press OK. Rename it if you like. So now I'm just gonna make something simple. You guys can do wacky designs and use logos you've previously made or create your own logos. I'm just gonna use some text and change this to black. I'll add a new layer. I'll just use my emblem, which I use to watermark all my videos, so it's a pre-made logo. I'll just place this somewhere. I'll resize it quickly. This was supposed to be quick, so I apologize. Yeah, okay. I'll just add that there. Alright, and now what you're going to do is select your new watermark you created, and I do hope it's a lot better than mine. And then go to Edit, and then Define Brush Preset. And here you're just gonna rename it. I'll just rename it watermark logo and press OK. So now when I open my photo that I want to watermark, I can make a new layer, select the brush, open the brush, and then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, the final brush you made will be the last one, and just double click and it will open it. See, I've made mine as a pretty big size, so it's going to be good quality, but I don't need it to be this big, so I'm just going to bring the size down to about roughly 500. Some people like to bang it smack bang in the middle, but the next version will be much better for the ones in the middle. This one is more suitable to like down at the bottom or at the top, wherever you prefer. I'm just going to stick this one here. You can play around with the opacity, bring it down, make it a bit more transparent. What I will say about this version is it's very easy for people to remove this watermark in Photoshop. There are experts out there who can easily get rid of watermarks. So I'm just gonna get rid of this and show you the second method, which is the one I do prefer, and I do think it's actually pretty good. So with this version you work directly onto the image you want to embed a watermark in. So you start by making your text layer or inserting the layer you want to work with. I'm just going to do pretty much the same design as I just did. In the previous version you could use whatever color text obviously, but in this one it has to be specifically white. Alright, I'm just going to increase the size. Alright, obviously if I just use the white watermark, again it will have the same problem as the previous version. It will be easy to get rid of. So in order to make it harder to get rid of, just double click on the text layer, select drop shadow, and then the distance is on default at 5 pixels. What you're going to do is bring that down to 0, and then from here we're going to select bevel and emboss, and just make sure the style is inner bevel. And once you've confirmed that, just press OK. Alright, now it's starting to look a bit more like a watermark. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change the fill. With the fill, I don't recommend bringing it down any lower than 30, but that is completely to your preference. I'm going to keep mine at about 35. Same again with opacity, I don't recommend anything below 50%, but again completely up to you. It also varies from picture to picture. I'm gonna keep it on 90 for this one. Alright, and just make it slightly bigger. Right, so now you can see it doesn't really affect the picture too much. It doesn't really get in the way. It doesn't take anything away from the picture. Yet it does have a transparent watermark over it, which is much more difficult to get to than other versions of watermarks used out there. I'm just going to run you through the same process again, but with a logo. I'm going to use the same logo as I used before. I'm going to paste that. Just bring down the size a bit. And again, select the layer, drop the shadow, bring down the distance to 0 pixels, bevel and emboss, it's a mouthful. Make sure the style is inner bevel, and press OK. And then play with the fill, bring it down. In this case, I think I'll use 30 again. Bring my opacity down slightly, and it's ready to go. And you can place that anywhere you want. You can place that in the top corner, and again it's very subtle. It doesn't get in the way of the picture, but it does stamp your signature on it, your watermark, so people do know, yes, this is definitely a picture taken by Vemza, because this is a logo I associate with him, and it's also got Vemza Productions pasted across the middle. Another quick tip, some people like to use angles. If you select the text layer or the image, whatever, hold down Control and type T. That will allow you to transform the shape of your layer. You can simply do it like this or like this, it's completely up to you where you place it, but those are the easiest and most common ways of adding watermarks to photos. And like I said, this version is a personal preference because I think it's harder to get rid of. But just experiment with photos, different photos, light photos, dark photos, and see what you like. One thing I would add is try and keep it consistent with your watermarks. Don't use one style on one photo and another style on another photo, because then it's quite unprofessional. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and I hope you learned something. Cheers.